Good morning, students. Our today's topic in the subject of Business Studies O levels is organizing production. So concentrate yourself. We are going to start now. The first thing that we are going to read in organizing production is making decisions. Every business has to decide how it will organize the production of the good or service it will sell, and it has to plan what input it needs to use and where it will purchase its supplies. So definitely the first thing that we have to plan where inputs will be purchased and what inputs will be needed for the production of the good and service. The next thing that we have to plan is how to organize production. So what kind of the method will be adopted for the production? Either it will be manual or automatic or the combination of the both. So that is how to organize production. The next thing that we have to plan in the production planning is what stocks it needs to keep. So stocks will be of both kinds of the finished goods that have to be kept in the shelves or in the warehouse, and the stocks of the raw material that are needed to make the goods and services. So both kind of the stocks will be needed to keep. So what stocks it needs to keep, what level of the stocks will it keep to needs to keep. So this has to be planned. The next thing is how it will the finished products to the customers. So the thing in this point is what kind of the channel will be adopted to take the products or service to the customers. Okay, the next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is planning. Any new product, whether it is a good or service, goes through a planning stage before it can be produced and then sold. In the planning stage, someone has to decide. So before the production, a planning is carried out, and in planning stage these things have to be thought. Number one, what is to be produced. So definitely this is the first point in the production process, that is what is to be produced. The next point that has to be considered is how the product is to be made. The next point that has to be considered, where production is to take place. So that is actually the place or the location where the production will be take place. Next, who will be likely buyers of the customers? So in a market, actually there are variety of the segments. So we have to check who will be the likely buyers, whether it will be females or males. And in female and males, further categories are there. Either the elderly people will be our buyers, or the young one, or the kids. Likewise, in the females, same categories are there. Next, how the product will be sold. Either we will sell it directly to the customers or through a retailer or a wholesaler. So what kind of the chain will be adopted to sell the product? A manufacturer may have to carry out scientific or technological research. Any new product has to go through a process of development where the original research idea is turned into a product which can be sold to the customer. So these are the questions which arise from idea to the product. That is, how can a product be manufactured in large quantities? In what sized packets should it be sold? Either it should be in 10 grams package, or it should be in 200 grams package, or the larger. So it depends on the product, what kind of the packets that should be decided to be sold. Next, what packaging will be needed to keep the product in perfect condition. So either it will be in tin packing or in plastic packing or in cardboard packing. So what kind of the packaging will be needed to keep the product in perfect condition? The next thing that has to be considered is how long can it be stored and in what conditions. Either it should be stored in dry conditions or in wet conditions or in cool place or in warm place. So different kinds of the things require different conditions to be stored, and how long it will can be stored. Either its expiry date is of 1 years or 6 months or 4 months. Like these are the questions which arise before the production. Research and development is potentially risky. Big businesses are constantly coming up with ideas for new products or ways of improving existing products. So big businesses have a R&D, research and development department, which constantly looking for the new ideas, and at the same time they kept on improving their existing products to keep the share of the market, to keep the customers in contact with them. Nearly all the rejected before they get to the stage where they are sold to the customers. However, a few survive the rigorous process of the development to become successful products. The next thing that we are going to read in the topic is purchasing. In a large business, the buying department is in charge of buying in goods and services needed for the production. So in large businesses, there is a buying department that decide where to buy, what kind of the raw material is need to be bought. So buying department is in charge of this thing. The buying department will look at the number of the factors when deciding what to buy from the supplier. So buying department has to look for the price first. The buying department will be looking for the best possible price given the quality required. So they actually look for the quality required and then look for the number of the suppliers, and the supplier who offer the best possible price will be definitely selected. From them they purchase the goods, raw materials. Next thing, that is quality. Definitely this supplier who is offering the best quality in the minimum price will be selected. The buyers will know the minimum quality standard. This may be laid down in a product specification, a written document which describes exactly what is required. Only suppliers able to supply to specification will be considered. Next thing that the buying department has to look for is service. The buyers will be looking for the suppliers which supply on time and can be flexible, accepting lower orders or higher orders if necessary. So they do not like the supplier who is rigid in selecting. So definitely the buying department will like a supplier who is flexible, who can supply the goods on time and can be flexible in accepting lower orders, because sometimes the demand in the market is lower. So definitely we have to order for the raw material in lower as compared to the normal, or sometimes the demand in the market is higher, so we have to order for the raw material in higher orders if necessary. So definitely the buying department will like a supplier who is flexible in accepting lower or higher orders. They want to make sure that the supplier is financially stable and will not go out of the business before completing an order. So this is another very important thing that is on the part of the supplier which is needed. So the buying department will like a supplier which is financially stable, and they look that the supplier will not go out of the business before completing an order. The next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is the production. In a large manufacturing business, the production manager is responsible for deciding how goods should be produced. So it is the person who is called production manager is responsible for deciding how goods should be produced. The production manager in charge of producing goods aims to, and these are the functions of the production manager. Number one, produce cost effectively. So the one thing that he has to perform is a lower quality, quality will be maintained with cost effective method. That means in the lowest possible price, a least quality should be maintained. This is the first function of the production manager. Next function of the production manager is ensure that the product meets the strict quality specification such as composition, color, and flow properties. So these are the two very important functions of the production manager. Number one, to keep the product produce cost effective, and number two, ensure that the product meets the strict quality specifications. Next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is production decision. The decisions may be, there are two kinds of the production decisions. Number one, long-term decisions, a decision which will affect the whole nature of the firm and needs to be taken by the top management. Such decisions would include, number one, location of the factory. Definitely this is a costly decision which is to be taken, which is to be decided. So the location of the factory is a long-term decision because you cannot change the location of your factory frequently. So you have to consider in deep. So before locating your factory, it should be near to the raw material, it should be near to the customers, it should be near to the good infrastructure. So this is a decision which is made by the top management. So this is called production manager, long-term decision. The next thing is that has to be taken by the top management is level of the production. So level of the production means what level will be produced and what level of the finished goods should be kept in the warehouse. So level of the production is the long-term decision which is taken by the top management, because this is a important decision which requires a lot of money and efforts and lot of energy to be required. The next thing, that is the range of the products to be made. So definitely again this is the major decision which is taken by the company. So this is a long-term decision which is taken by the top management. What kind of the products to be made, what kind of the things which we are producing, or which new products are to be decided to be made. So this is called the range of the products to be made. So this is a long-term decision which is taken by the top management. So the long-term decisions are the decisions which will affect the whole nature of the firm and needs to be taken by the top management. Whereas the second type of the production decision is short-term decision. This is called day-to-day decision, which are needed to keep the production process operative. These decisions are more likely to be taken by those directly involved in the production process and will include, number one, the number of the workers needed. Definitely the ground manager or the floor manager which is present in between the workers will be in a good position to decide what number of the workers needed. So this is a decision which is directly involved the production process and which will be taken by those directly involved. Okay, number two, the level of the stocks. So because the persons who are directly involved in the production process will be well known what level of the stocks are going to be sold daily. So they will be in a best position to decide what level of the stocks should be kept. Next, decisions about quality. So the persons who are directly involved in the production will be in the good position to decide which quality is going to be sold in a high quantity. So they will be in a better position to decide about the quality. Next, the methods of improving efficiency. So these are the decisions which are called short-term decisions and which are likely to be taken by those directly involved in the production process. Okay, the next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is stocks. Any business is likely to have stocks. Businesses have stocks of raw materials is waiting to be used for the manufacture of the goods. It also has stocks of finished products awaiting for delivery to the customers. Supermarkets which sell finished products will have stocks of their goods on their shelves and perhaps also in their storerooms. So here are three kinds of the categories. Number one, businesses have stock of the raw materials waiting to be used for the manufacture of the goods. Businesses also has stocks of the finished products waiting to be delivered to the customers. And at the same time, the supermarkets who are not directly involved in the production, they are actually the wholesale market or the retailers. They will also have finished goods which have to be stocked on their shelves and perhaps also in their storerooms. So these are these stocks. Now, stock management is very important to a business. So this is the thing that is very important for the supermarkets or for the businesses. Either they are going to have the raw materials or the finished goods. Now, production needs holding too little stocks, that is called understocking, could lead to loss of the production and sales. So this is called understocking. If the business is having understocking or too little stock, definitely could have to loss of the production and sales. If a business does not hold enough raw materials stocks, then its production lines could be stopped because raw material may be finished and there may be more demand in the market suddenly because of some particular event. If the demand for the product rises unexpectedly, the firm may be unable to meet the new demand. So these are the points which have to be taken into consideration for the stock department. Holding overstocking could lead to, at the same time, if you hold more stocks in your warehouse, so this can lead to be tying up too much cash. Definitely cash will be tied up because you have purchased the more stock than your need. Next, face storage and security costs. Definitely you will pay for the storage location, and also you have to pay for the security for these overstocks. Next, make itself vulnerable if the market demands should change and people no longer want to want the product it producing. So this is another fear. Next, stock can also perish because you know everything has an expiry date. So if you have more stock in your warehouse than you need, it can be perished. Next, for instance, to hold stocks, businesses has to borrow the money from its banker to pay for the stock. Then a yearly rate of interest has to be paid. So this is an other expense if you hold more stock than you need. The next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is price. Buying raw materials and components in large quantities may mean that businesses can buy at competitive prices. So this is the advantages for the companies. If you purchase the components in large quantities, you may purchase at competitive prices. Competitive prices stands for you may buy the things lower than the normal price. Hence, holding more stock could reduce the cost. So this is the advantage of purchasing more stock. An efficient stock control system ensures that a business has enough stock to meet its needs, but that the cost of holding stocks are kept as low as possible. Personnel dealing with stock control have four important decisions to make. So definitely there is a department or some persons who are responsible for dealing with stock control. They have four important decisions to make. Number one, what is the minimum level of the stock that the firm needs to hold? Below this level, there is a danger of production stopping because of a shortage of the materials. So this is the first decision that they have to taken. What is the minimum level of the stock that the firm needs to hold? Because at that level, they will order for the more stock. Next decision is what is the maximum level of the stock that the firm should hold. So this is the very reverse of the first decision. So the minimum level of the stock and the maximum level of the stock are the decisions that are to be taken by the personnel who are dealing with stock control. Number three, next is what is the reorder level of the stock? The point at which the business will order new stocks to ensure that the amount does not fall below the minimum level. So as soon as the minimum level are going to reach, they reorder for the stock. So this is the point. This is called reorder level of the stock. Next is what quantity of the stock to reorder or order. A reorder of the stock should keep the stock above minimum and below maximum quantity. So this is another important decision that has to be taken by the personnel who are dealing with the stock control. What quantity of the stock to order or reorder? So the quantity that should be order or reorder is the stock should keep the stock above minimum and below maximum quantity. Okay, here is a chart that is showing you that will make your ideas more clear about the personnel department who are dealing with the stock control. So look now, this is a chart of a company. So this is showing that 800 goods are used each week. So here are weeks 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So this is the maximum level of the stock which is kept at first. So now week 1 has been started and this is the reorder level. And this is the minimum level of the stock. So as soon as the reorder level stock reach, it means if in the starting we are having 1000 goods in our warehouse, so when the things are going to be sold and when the things reach 500 goods, it means 500 goods has been sold. So now the personnel department will reorder for the stock, and definitely the quantity that he will order is 500 goods. And here is the time. So actually definitely when you will order for the stock, definitely it will take time. It may be the company or your suppliers maybe take 1 or 2 or 3 days to send goods to you. So definitely look now, this is actually the middle of the week. It means 3.5 days are has been passed. So actually he is ordering at the 4th or 5th day. So actually he is keeping the margin of 2 to 3 days to reach the goods. So as soon as the goods level will reach here, the stock will reach, and again the stock level will be reached at the maximum level, and again the process will start, and this process will repeat again and again. So look now, this is the maximum stock level, that is 1000. This is a reorder level, that is 500, keeping the margin of 2 to 3 days to reach the stock into the warehouse. And this is the minimum stock level. So the stock he is ordering actually 500. So as soon as the stock level will reach here, almost the stock level will be again reach the maximum or below to the some maximum level. So this process will repeat again and again. Okay, many businesses now try to keep stocks to minimum. They organize production so that stocks are delivered only when they are needed. This is called just-in-time production. So this is another strategy which is adopting by most of the businesses now. They actually produce goods and they reorder just in time production. So this is again very important strategy. The next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is sale. There is no point in producing if what is produced cannot be sold. So the main aim of the production is to sell. So if the things are not selling, then there is no reason to be produced. In the past, many businesses were product oriented. This meant that they made a product and hoped that it would sell. Whereas today, an increasing number of the businesses are market oriented. This means that they try to find out what their customers want to buy, and then they make a product designed around the needs of the customer. So most of the businesses in the modern world are market oriented. They first look into the market and locate a need of the customers, and then they make the product. So these kind of the businesses are market oriented businesses. Production is important in sale. The product has to be of the right quality for the price to be charged. So this is the very important thing. So whatever the customers are paying, the product should be, has to be right quality according to the price to be charged. The next thing, cost of the production have to be low enough for the business to set price which will attract customers. Next point, products must be available for sale when the customers want to buy. Okay, here is organizing production at the Unilever. So look now. First, the first point in the production is planning, then purchasing the raw materials, then stocks, then production, then finished goods stocks, and then sales. Okay, the next thing that we are going to read are some of the key terms we are going to read. Number one, research and development. The process of scientific and technological research and then development of finding of that research before a product is launched. The next key term is stocks, materials that a business holds either waiting to be used in the production process or finished stock waiting to be delivered to its customers. The next key term is suppliers, a business which sells to or supplies products to and other businesses are called suppliers. So students, this was the lecture. So read this lecture again, understand it, learn it, and make your notes. Thank you so much.